And we are live, you guys. Thank you for joining me on Loren Live. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I was just reading the comments after I went live, before I came on the screen. And Paula, hello. Loren, hi. Paul, Brittany, Sherry, Danielle, Larry, Jody, Desiree, Jay, Karen, so many friends. Chuck, how you doing? Good to see you guys on here. I appreciate it. Obviously, I mean, it's going by fast. I can't say hi to everybody, but I can say hi to everybody. And thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it. So, as much as a POS as our current governor is here in Washington State, I have been getting lots of messages, lots of emails, lots of phone calls from a lot of people. And they're concerned, very concerned. And I'm trying to keep up on the feed here as well. So if I look down, that's what I'm looking at. I've got Facebook Live on there so I can see your messages. But I've gotten a ton of emails and messages from people all over the state concerned about what has been reported in some news outlets and has been going around the internet and Facebook about the Board of Health meeting and them wanting to create new laws to force people into quarantine camps. The messages, they range from the state is giving health officials police powers, to force people into quarantine camps, to they're giving health officials the power to tell the police to arrest people and force them into quarantine camps. So that's basically what I'm going to cover on the show tonight. Even though I'm running for federal office, I want to address you guys' concerns. And this is a huge concern with a lot of people. So the very legitimate concerns, I don't want our government to have any more power than it needs to carry out its constitutional role, right? Constitution, very important. So the first thing that we need to remember is that only this legislative branch of our government, whether that's at the state level, the county level, city level, federal level, only the legislative branch can create laws. Administrators create, in Washington State, what's called the Washington Administrative Code, WAC, W-A-C, Washington Administrative Code. That is not law. It's basically rules to run departments and execute their responsibilities according to the power given to them by the state legislature here in Washington. Okay, so WAC, W-A-C. A lot of times it is whack. Yes. So they're WACs are not RCWs. RCWs are what the legislature creates. That's actual law in Washington State. Now, neither one, the WACs or the RCWs, supersede the Constitution, right? The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. We all know that. So RCWs are created by the state legislature. That is law in Washington State. RCW stands for the Revised Code of Washington. But neither supersede the Constitution. So keep that in mind. And I don't care what position or title someone is given or who they think they are, It doesn't matter their title. It doesn't matter their position. they can't just take someone into custody. Okay, the police can't just walk up and take you into custody. They can't arrest you. They can't take away your freedom. No one can take away your freedom, take you into custody, force you anywhere without probable cause, that you have committed a crime, or you're mentally ill, or they have a warrant from a judge. That's our constitutional rights. Okay, so I need you to remember that. Never forget that. You are a free individual American, and along with that comes your right. Okay, and you can't be arrested, you can't be detained without probable cause. So, or a warrant from a judge, okay, or mentally ill, those three things. So keep that in mind as we go through what I'm going to go through tonight. So, like I said, I got a lot of messages about this. So I looked into it a little bit. The only new thing that I found that the health department wants to add is COVID as an infectious disease. It is already a law, not a whack. It's a law that health officials, passed by the legislature, that health officials can direct police officers to take someone into custody. And it's been a law. I think that it's since 2009, I think. Keep in mind, I'm not a lawyer, but I've dealt with a lot of law, obviously. And that's what I found. But first thing we're going to do, and you wouldn't believe how much there is to do to get ready for this show, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. One second. Okay, you should be seeing WAC 246-100-040. Okay, let's take a look at the WAC first, and then we'll get to the RCW. So this WAC, like I said, I think it's been around since 2009. So on here, let me get my cursor over there. Where is it? There it is. Okay, WAC 246-100-040 is procedures for isolation or quarantine. And you guys write this down and check it out for yourself. All you got to do is do an internet search for WAC 246-100-040. So in number one, it says at his or her sole discretion, and I'm not going to read this whole thing, a local health officer may issue an emergency detention order causing a person or group of persons to be immediately detained for purposes of isolation or quarantine in accordance with subsection 3 of this section, or may petition the Superior Court for an order to take the person or group of persons into involuntary detention for purposes of isolation or quarantine in accordance with subsection 4 of this section, provided that he or she has first made efforts right here, which shall be documented to obtain voluntary compliance with requests for medical examination, testing, treatment, counseling, vaccination, decontamination of persons or animals, isolation, quarantine, and inspection of closure facilities, blah, blah, blah. So this right here, and again, I'm not a lawyer, this right here tells me that if they do not get voluntary compliance, if it even comes to this, I'm not saying it's going to, it better not. It's huge violation of our rights. But if it does come to this and a person does not comply with this health officer, then they need to go to the court Superior Court in your county and get a order from a judge to detain you. Now, if we go down here to number 2, like I said, this has already been in law. A local health officer may invoke the powers of police officers, sheriffs, constables, and all other officers and employees of any political subdivision within the jurisdiction of the health department to enforce immediately orders given to effectuate the purpose of this section in accordance with provisions of RCW 4320 050. Like I said, this has been, and I think it says down here at the bottom, effective in 2003. Do I like this right here? No, I do not. It's not something that's new. So if they're, and let me tell you, if a person is not compliant and doesn't go voluntarily, and a health official goes to the Superior Court in your county, and your Superior Court judge grants this over the current situation that we have going on, I can guarantee you that that judge will not be a judge at the next election. Neither will the sheriff of that county who goes along with it. Okay, so that's the whack. Been in place over 20 years. And this, again, this is whack. This is an administrative code. This is what's made up by the administrators, not the legislature, the administrators. Okay, so let's go and take a look at an actual RCW. This is RCW 43.20.050. Powers and duties of State Board of Health, rulemaking, delegation of authority, enforcement of rules. And this goes over what their job is. You know, they talk about drinking water quality standards, public water systems, source of bottled water plants, all kinds of things that the health department does, health hazards, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at, where is it? Okay. Letter E. And again, you guys write these down and check them out later because I'm not reading the whole thing. But RCW 43.20.050. In paragraph E, the legislature gave them the power, the Board of Health, to adopt rules for the imposition and use of isolation and quarantine. And then if we go down here to number 5, all local boards of health, health authorities and officials, officers of state institutions, police officers, sheriffs, constables, and all other officers and employees of the state or any county, city, or township thereof shall enforce all rules adopted by the State Board of Health. In the event of failure or refusal on the part of any member of such boards or any other official or persons mentioned in this section to so act, he or she will be subject to a fine of not less than $50. So that's the actual RCW. And if you didn't get a chance to write these down, you can replay the video. So there you have it. These rules, these laws have been in place for quite a while. If we want them changed, the place to get them changed is the legislature, not the governor. The governor doesn't make law. The current one is a baby dictator, and he really doesn't care. So let's see if we have any questions. Again, remember, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Over WACs, over RCWs, okay? So don't forget your Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights. And if you're not sure what those are, look them up. They're very important, just as important as the first and the second. Sven said, when did we vote for that? We did not vote for that. The RCW was put into being by the state legislature, and the RCW was made by administrators. So when I got all these emails and text messages and phone calls from people that were, pretty upset, and rightfully so, that's when I started looking into this. Just remember that we don't get our rights from the government. We don't get our rights from an RCW. We damn sure don't get our rights from a WAC. We don't get our rights from the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. We are born with rights. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights just protect the rights that we are given by our Creator. Government does not give us our rights. It says right in the Declaration of Independence that governments are instituted to protect citizens' rights. So I'm not giving up something that God gave me. I hope you won't either. So I didn't see any questions. Thank you all for being on here. It's absolutely awesome. I appreciate the support. You guys have been donating like crazy. We are far outpacing anybody else in this race as far as the number of donors. It is absolutely amazing. During the governor's race, we raised over $3 million without any special interest group money. It was all from patriotic Americans, and I appreciate the support this time around to you guys. Keep it coming on as much as you can, as often as you can, okay? It's going to take a lot to get the Rhino Dan Newhouse out of office. If you look and see who donates to him, it's all kinds of special interest groups. Barbara said, I asked a question. Scroll up. Barbara, this goes by so fast, it's hard for me to keep up. I've been looking. Okay, can't find it. Lots of people on here tonight. Lots of questions scrolling by. I will try to get to them later. So much that we could have talked about, but I know this was a big concern for a lot of people, and I wanted to go over it. And I appreciate you guys reaching out to me and trusting me to answer a question like this. I hope that you guys have a great week. Don't forget to love those around you and spend time with family, because that's most important. We've got some events coming up next month. I will be in Klickitat County, and I will be down in Tri-Cities, Benton County. We should have the events page updated by this Friday, so check that out. And if you're able to donate, please go to my website, cult4congress.com, and help out if you can. All right, you guys. Don't forget, you're a free American. Individual freedom and liberty is yours at birth. God bless you guys. Good night.